The cockpit of a giant passenger jet, staring down a storm with 143 souls depending on her, and somehow, she brought them all home alive. Sounds like a Hollywood movie, right? But this story is more real, more emotional, and more unbelievable than any film you've ever seen. In today's video, we're diving into the incredible true inspired story of courage, instinct, and an ordinary girl thrust into extraordinary circumstances. She wasn't a trained pilot. She wasn't even supposed to be in that cockpit. Yet, when fate placed her hands on the controls of an aircraft facing disaster, she proved that bravery knows no age. Stay until the end, because what she did next will leave you speechless. The rain lashed hard against the windows of Flight 728. Passengers whispered prayers, flight attendants fought to keep order, and lightning tore across the night sky. Somewhere high above the Atlantic, a Boeing jet trembled under the weight of turbulence. In C-24A sat Emily Carter, a 17-year-old high school senior from Florida. Emily wasn't just any teenager, she was obsessed with aviation. Ever since she was a little girl, she had studied flight manuals instead of fashion magazines, built flight simulator setups in her room, and memorized the dashboard of a Boeing 737 like it was the back of her hand. Her dream was to one day become a real pilot. But dreams don't prepare you for reality, until they do. As the plane hit another violent jolt, the intercom buzzed. The captain's voice was shaky, distorted. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're experiencing technical issues." His words stopped there. Silence followed. Then chaos. The co-pilot staggered out of the cockpit, pale-faced, before collapsing right in the aisle. The captain had suffered a sudden health crisis. In a matter of minutes, both trained pilots were incapacitated. Panic erupted. Passengers screamed. The cabin crew scrambled. Who would fly the plane? The aircraft, tossed like a toy by the storm, began to descend. The flashing screens in the cockpit warned of system overload. And then, the unthinkable, a lightning strike hit the plane's nose. Smoke curled through the air. Fear was everywhere, and that's when Emily stood up. At first, nobody took her seriously. "Sit down, sweetheart," one man muttered. "The professionals will handle this." But the professionals were unconscious. Time was running out. Emily's heart pounded, but she forced her voice steady. "I can fly this plane. I've studied for years. I know the controls." The flight attendants, desperate for any hope, let her into the cockpit. And there, facing an endless ocean, a cracked windshield, and alarms blaring, Emily Carter took the captain's chair. The yoke trembled in her hands. Her palms were sweaty, her knees shaking. But Emily remembered every simulator session, every book she devoured, every late-night YouTube tutorial about emergency landings. "Mayday, Mayday," she spoke into the radio, her voice trembling but clear. "This is Flight 728. Both pilots are down. I'm not a licensed pilot, but I'm in control." The air traffic controller on the other end froze, then quickly composed himself. "Copy that, Flight 728. Okay, listen to me carefully. What's your name?" "Emily. Emily Carter." "All right, Emily, you've got this. We're going to get you and everyone on board home safe. Follow my instructions." The passengers didn't know it yet, but their lives now rested in the hands of a teenage girl. Lightning streaked across the windshield. The storm roared louder, waves of turbulence hitting from every angle. Emily fought the controls, gritting her teeth. Every dip of the nose threatened to send the plane into the ocean below. The radio crackled with instructions. "Ease back, Emily. Watch your altitude. You're descending too fast." Her voice shook. "I've got it. I think I've got it." Every second felt like an eternity. Passengers cried, whispered prayers, clutched each other's hands. And in the middle of it all, Emily's determination grew stronger. She thought of her father, who once told her, "Bravery doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do it scared." Hours seemed to pass, but it was only minutes. Emily spotted land in the distance, an emergency runway lit up like a lifeline. The controller's voice came through. "Okay, Emily, this is it. You're lined up. Keep the nose steady. Trust yourself." Her knuckles white on the yoke, Emily guided the plane down. The runway grew larger, closer, blinding. At 200 feet, alarms screamed. At 100 feet, passengers held their breath. At 50 feet, Emily whispered to herself, "Come on, you can do this." The wheels slammed onto the runway. The plane skidded, brakes screeching. Sparks flew. For a terrifying moment, it seemed like the jet would veer off course. But Emily held on, steering, correcting, fighting, until finally, Mercifully, the aircraft came to a grinding halt. Silence. Then an eruption of cheers, sobs, and applause. Emily Carter had just saved 143 lives. The story of the teenage pilot spread across the world like wildfire. News channels broadcast her picture. Headlines called her a hero. Aviation experts marveled at her calm under pressure. But Emily didn't see herself as a hero. "I just did what had to be done," she told reporters later. "I didn't think. I couldn't let those people down." For months after, Emily's story inspired countless young dreamers, especially girls, to believe they could achieve anything, no matter how impossible it seemed. Flight schools even reported spikes in applications, calling it the Emily effect. And as for Emily herself, she finally earned her wings, training as a professional pilot. But even before that license, she had already proved she had the heart of one. So, what do you think? Was Emily's act pure instinct, destiny, or a miracle? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because more unbelievable true stories like this are coming your way. And remember, courage can live in anyone, even a teenager sitting on Flight 728.